Police tactics under the microscope again, and for good reason. Take a look at this.
I'm scared. If you can pull out a gun in front of it's two kids in the back seat.
Open the door for you.
If
you understand?
Yes.
All right.
No, don't mess my. Now they about to mess my. No.
I'm not the operator in this vehicle. So if you do that, all right. I'm not the operation in this vehicle.
Are you gonna open the door?
Why do you say somebody's not gonna hurt you? People are getting shot by the police. Oh.
Damn!
This video being taken in the back seat by a kid, and it is of cops in Indiana breaking the window, obviously, tasing that guy in the passenger seat during a routine traffic stop. And the kids in the back seat got hit with glass. They say the passenger, Jamal Jones, refused to produce ID. That's what the cops say, and then refused to get out of the car for 13 minutes. That'll be key in this investigation, by the way. All the while, the cops also say he reached behind him. And when he did, they feared he was reaching for a weapon. Now, he says he didn't leave the car because he was scared of the cops, and a weapon was never found in the car. And all of this from a seatbelt violation, and not even his girlfriend who was driving, she wasn't involved. So now they're suing the cops for excessive force and false arrest, among other things. What is the legal situation here, and what is the right versus wrong of it? Let's bring in former New York City prosecutor and CNN legal analyst, Mr. Paul Callan, and Mo Ivory, attorney and radio host. This story certainly appeals to the heart, but let us begin with the head, okay? Paul, what is the legal basis? When a cop makes a traffic stop, what are they allowed to do?
Well, the Supreme Court of the United States actually had a series of cases about this. In the late 1990s, they had two cases, the Mims case and the Wilson case. And both of those cases said when you make a routine traffic stop, Chief Justice Rehnquist said, the danger that passengers pose to police officers is so great that the police officer, without even reasonable suspicion, can order the passengers out of the vehicle, as well as the driver. So the Supreme Court has said what the Indiana cops did is perfectly legal for the safety of police officers.
Well, what they did, meaning asking for the ID, asking him to get out of the car,
Correct.
was legal.
Correct.
Okay, so now we go to what they do when he doesn't get out of the car. All right, let's assume that not giving them the ID, not getting out of the car was wrong. So now what should have the cops done, Mo?
Well, first of all, under Indiana law, when you ask a passenger in a car for ID, they do not have to give you that ID under Indiana law. You can ask them to get out of the car, but they do not have to produce an ID. But that is not even what happened in this case. He told the officers, I don't have my license because it was taken because of an insurance violation, but I do have the ticket to show you that my license was taken. Why don't I give you that? That was not enough for these officers. So, of course, they will go to, well, we had reasonable suspicion that he had a gun in the car, because every black man has a gun in the car. Right. So this is the problem. An officer can always say, right, I was fearing for my life. I thought that he was reaching for something. He was reaching for the piece of paper that you asked him for.
Okay. And again, that harkens us to the case that happened just a week or so ago, where the man said he was going for what the cop asked him for, and he got shot a lot by the police officer for his efforts. But let's not go to race yet, Mo. And I know you're going to say I'm avoiding the obvious, but the man and the woman in the car were not just non-compliant, they were openly defiant of the police officers.
I disagree.
Well, no,
I disagree.
But hold on. I don't know the Indiana law. I'm trusting you that there is a law somewhere that says you don't have to offer ID
Chris,
to a cop.
But what you just said, wait, Chris, what you just said was that the driver and the passenger were openly defiant. That is not true. That is what the officer is saying.
No, that's what I'm saying.
This woman was
That's their
on her
basis
way.
for behavior, Mo. That's their basis. The cops say they were openly defiant. That's why I'm saying it. It's not my opinion. It's what the cops said. What do you think of that?
Well, if we want to talk about the law, all right, the law says that you don't have to have reasonable suspicion. You don't have to think he's reaching for a gun. Chief Justice Rehnquist said you can tell the passengers to get out of the car with no suspicion. All right, so forget about the reaching for a gun.
But the cops say they were being openly defiant. Do you buy that?
Now, let me finish my point, because I don't care about the open defiance, whether it happened or not. I'm looking at police officers surrounding a car for 13 minutes and saying to the passengers, get out. and they're refusing to get out. Now, have you ever heard of a situation, Mo, have you heard of a situation involving another car where for 13 minutes, could you please answer the question? Give me another case where passengers remained in a car of any race for 13 minutes refusing to obey the cops. One case in the United States. I've never heard of one.
Oh, you've never heard of one. I'm sure you haven't. A lot of people have never heard of one. Let me tell you something. He had every reason to not want to get out of that car.
Being what?
Because his life could have been in danger getting out of the car.
So he can defy the police at will?
Make the point,
This is not about Paul. Please listen. This is not about the 13 minutes and why didn't they just get out of the car. This is about the excessive, rampant force that is being used against black men. This man was a passenger in a car.
I did not hear racial epithets used by these police officers. I did not hear a single reference to race.
Let's hear the full case.
Let me finish. Why didn't the police officer offer them a police escort to the hospital to see her dying mother? Why does the disrespect happen from the second the stop happens? It doesn't matter if he was
Maybe he would have if they had gotten out of the car as the cops asked.
All right, but hold on, Mo.
Stop with the excuses.
Mo, but you have
this is a problem.
Mo, there's no question it's a problem. Agreed, undebatable, incontrovertible, and easily demonstrable. We can show it again and again and again. But you do have to look at every case because you have these 13 minutes. What does that show us? Why does it matter? You can't say it doesn't matter at all. It does show that. But here's why it matters, Mo. Because these cops didn't immediately jump to doing the wrong thing. They eventually got to being excessive, perhaps, but they didn't start there.
Chris, they started by stopping the woman for a seatbelt violation and automatically questioning the passenger in the car. The second that the woman said, I am trying to get to my dying mother at the hospital, where is the protect and serve in that?
But hold on, Mo.
Where is the compassion?
Mo, I hear
Where is the respect?
I hear you, but if you talk to cops, you know the number one thing they're told by white, black, green, and yellow when they pull them over is, I'm in an emergency.
White, black, green, and yellow?
Come on, everybody says I have an emergency, that's why I was doing whatever I was doing wrong. But you just absolutely believe that if this had been a white couple or an Asian couple, this would not have happened. True?
Chris, no doubt this wouldn't happen. A white officer just pulled a white woman over the other day because her child wasn't in a car seat. Did she get arrested? Did her child get threatened to go to child protective custody? No. He went to a store, he bought her a car seat, he put the child in the car seat, he let her go. And then he got on the news. And then he got on CNN. Did that happen?
These cases are...
it was the good stuff, actually, on this show, Mo. But make your final point, Paul.
I want to be clear. The cops overreacted and, in the end, mishandled this case. We know that, of course, because there was no weapon in the case. There was no danger.
Well, we have to see how it gets resolved.
But 4 Indiana cops were killed last year in line-of-duty shootings. The most dangerous thing that happens with a cop is when they approach a car to give a violation, frequently a traffic stop.
Every black man is carrying a gun.
Could I
Mo,
finish
hold on a second. Let's have each side equally heard.
That's the most dangerous situation a cop faces. And when you approach a car and you ask the passengers to step out and they refuse for 13 minutes, I'm not surprised that this escalated. It would not have escalated if the passengers complied with the request.
Look, this situation...
Hold on, Mo. Chris, is that you're not surprised that it escalated.
I'm not surprised.
That's the saddest part.
I'm not surprised. There's no question. But that could be for various reasons. One, when you get into it with the cops, bad things invariably happen. The question is, why did the bad dynamic... And that could be true as well. But we needed to have our heads wrapped around this, Paul. Thank you for that. And it certainly evokes passion, Mo. And thank you for bringing that to the show, because that's what we need to have the discussion for.
Yes, we do.
All right? And thank you for being a part of it.
Yes, thank you.
Mo Ivory, Paul Callan.